it is an honor to be here today, introducing this wonderful work on young lives. We at UNICEF have been following this study for so many years, so it is really great to see it, coming to conclusion. The team has been welcomed this week in UNICEF, and we intend to work with the results and try to envisage ways in which we can improve policies and programs for children in the future with the lessons learned from this study.
Well, thank you everybody for coming, and it's a great pleasure for us to be here. This is a first opportunity in a way for all of us to come as a team to just begin to introduce some of our research. And my role is to really frame what's going to come afterwards and what the other presenters will be focusing on. And I'm going to really, more than anything else, explain something about our methodology. And then I'm going to raise two key issues that I think are emerging from our research that I would like to share with you, and hope that we can then pick up again in the discussion that follows. We argue that childhood poverty is the beginning of cycles of poverty. Even in our most poor, most marginal, most isolated rural communities, there are dynamic processes of change that are going on, and they're really very dramatic in many cases in terms of the implications for children and their experiences of childhood. So I want to make the case that childhood is not fixed either spatially or socially, in the way that I think is sometimes imagined, certainly in the world of research in developed countries and in the world of policy often. There is this assumption that somehow children's needs are universal, somehow all children are the same, and we're just needing to cater for children whose needs are not being met in the way that they ought to be. And I think we should be challenging that assumption and seeing how research shows things to be very different. Yet, at the same time, one of the trends that we're observing is that in some degree, through the incursion, if you like, of new ideas, but also through policy interventions, childhood is also becoming increasingly reframed as a relatively uniform life phase. So the expectations around children and childhood are appearing to be quite similar across very, very diverse cultural contexts. And I think probably that school education is fairly fundamental to this. So, children are going through the same age grades at school all over the world practically now, and this has enormous implications for how childhood is understood and experienced. And I think the Dean also already mentioned the clash of child-rearing values that this results in. We are seeing very dramatic challenges in families being lived out by children and families in terms of this clash of different values and understandings.